This is the 75th video in a set of videos that study the 101 laws of the Success Mindset Code. In this video, we are going to approach the 75th law, the law of the right measure. When we talk about building prosperity later in life, we often imagine intensity, effort, constant movement, and long hours of work. We grew up believing that success belongs to the ones who never stop working, who sacrifice sleep, relationships, and peace. But the law of the right measure teaches us something essential. True prosperity is not built on extremes, but on balance. Balance between effort and rest, between ambition and gratitude, between the hunger to grow and the wisdom to appreciate what already exists. Let's imagine John, a business owner who spent decades pushing himself to the limit. He worked day and night, thinking that any pause would delay his progress. On paper, his finances were growing. But inside, his emotional, physical, and relational bank accounts were going bankrupt. His health deteriorated, stress controlled his mood, and his personal relationships weakened. Years later, when he finally stopped to breathe, he realized that he was wealthy in numbers but poor in life. This is what happens when ambition becomes imbalance. Prosperity demands more than money. It demands the capacity to sustain the journey. The law of the right measure reminds us that it is not only about how fast you run, but how far you can go without collapsing. Now picture Emma, someone who understood early in life the power of this law. She works hard, but also respects her breaks. She sets goals, but she also thanks herself for every step achieved. She doesn't wait to be a millionaire to feel good. She celebrates progress, not just results. She nurtures her mind, cares for her emotions, and protects her energy. For her, prosperity is not a rush. It is a rhythm. And because she protects her rhythm, she keeps growing without burning out. That's the spirit behind the law of the right measure. Many people who reach midlife discover something important. The body doesn't respond the same way it did at 20. Stress hits harder, recovery takes longer, and the mind becomes more selective about where energy goes. You can still build wealth, change careers, reinvent yourself, and reach goals bigger than ever before. But now, wisdom matters more than raw intensity. The law of the right measure invites you to become strategic. Work deeply, but rest deeply. Chase goals, but be grateful. Fight to evolve, but honor the moment you are living. Prosperity is a combination of growth and preservation. If you grow without preserving yourself, you collapse. If you preserve without growing, you stall. The right measure is the bridge. This law also challenges the illusion that doing more is always better. In reality, doing what matters is better. Saying yes to too many commitments drains energy, steals focus, and fragments attention. Learning to say no is an act of prosperity. When you say no to what steals your peace, you say yes to what builds your wealth. Your financial transformation requires clarity, and clarity cannot exist where exhaustion dominates. To unlock your financial mindset, you must regulate your internal and external resources. Your internal resources are energy, attention, emotion, and mental peace. Your external resources are time, people around you, opportunities, and money. The law of the right measure teaches you to manage both. When you protect your internal resources, your decisions become sharper, your discipline becomes lighter, and your creativity explodes. When you respect your external resources, you allocate money responsibly, avoid impulsive purchases, and invest where value multiplies. A financially prosperous life is not built with chaos, it is built with balance. Rest, for example, is often treated as luxury, but it is actually a tool. Sleep increases cognitive performance, emotional control, and decision-making accuracy. When you rest properly, your brain becomes more capable of identifying opportunities and avoiding traps. Many financial mistakes are born in exhaustion. Many poor decisions are made in moments of mental fatigue. Rest might be the missing element in your prosperity. Gratitude is another pillar of this law. Gratitude redirects your mind from scarcity to abundance. When you train gratitude, you develop emotional wealth, and emotional wealth protects you from the toxic impulse of purchasing to fill internal voids. Have you ever bought something expensive just to feel better? That is the absence of gratitude acting against prosperity. Gratitude stabilizes the emotional noise that leads to financial sabotage. It also strengthens patience, and patience is the seed of profitability. Think about investments. They grow not because you obsessively watch them, but because you respect the time they need. The law of the right measure is also about adjusting ambitions. Ambition is powerful, but without caution, ambition becomes a trap. When the hunger to achieve is larger than your capacity to sustain, you create emotional debt. Emotional debt generates stress, anxiety, guilt, and frustration. And where frustration grows, discipline dies. Instead, the right measure teaches you to set goals that challenge you but don't destroy you. Imagine climbing a mountain. If you run the first kilometer at full speed, you collapse before reaching the summit. But if you control your pace, you reach the top calmly and proud. Prosperity after 40 works exactly like that. You are no longer supposed to burn every drop of energy. You are supposed to use energy intelligently. Balance is not weakness. Balance is strategy. To apply this in your daily life, start by creating clear priorities. Identify what truly matters in your phase of life. Maybe your priority now is financial stability, or perhaps emotional peace, or even rebuilding confidence. When you know your priorities, decisions become easier. As you grow, learn to filter commitments. Say no to what drains you, and yes to what multiplies you. Create routines for rest. Protect time with family, hobbies, silence, nature, and pleasurable activities. These moments recharge your emotional batteries and give you the strength to continue. Practice daily gratitude. Write down what went right today, not just what needs improvement. Care for your body. Eat well, sleep well, move your body. A tired body makes expensive decisions. A balanced body makes profitable decisions. Break large goals into small, consistent actions. Consistency beats intensity in the long run. Intensity burns fast. Consistency builds legacies. And finally, look inside yourself. Ask, what is preventing me from resting? What beliefs lead me to think that pausing means losing? Many times, the fear of stopping is the reason we never arrive. The law of the right measure teaches you to build a prosperous life without sacrificing your health, relationships, peace, or self-respect. When you find your balance, prosperity becomes not only possible, but pleasant. Wealth without peace is poverty. Success without gratitude is empty. Growth without rest is collapse. Your journey now is to align ambition with appreciation, effort with recovery, action with reflection. That is where real wealth lives. Did you enjoy what you heard and want to dive even deeper into the topic? The link in the first comment below will take you straight to the next level. And if this video made a difference for you, give back by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing with the bell on.